Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another Chubbs Reviews, where I bring you a review every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today, we're talking about another random kind of Marvel movie in general, not in the MCU, but The Wolverine, a movie just called The Wolverine, the second try at a movie just on Logan or Wolverine himself. I've reviewed X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was fucking terrible, and yeah, it's probably the worst movie I've ever reviewed so far. And here we are with The Wolverine, a story essentially after the X-Men trilogy, the original X-Men trilogy, about Logan, which is what he goes by pretty much in this movie for most of it. You know, he goes to Japan. He doesn't go to Japan. He gets invited by an old friend that he saved a long time ago, and he ends up going to Tokyo, which I think that's one of the best parts about this movie. This movie's pretty good, honestly. I would say if you're a Wolverine fan at all, you have to have watched this movie or should watch this movie. I think it's a little overhyped, but it's also a hidden gem to me. This movie's so weird. Uh, but anyway, yeah, he goes to Japan, and he ends up basically Wolverine basically becomes the bodyguard of this woman who's about to become the empress, the most rich woman. I don't know if she's an empress, but the most rich and powerful woman in all of Japan. She's about to become it because her father passed away, or grandfather, or something. No, yeah, her grandfather, or something like that. Um, and it was gonna go to her, and basically everyone's trying to kill her because she's gonna become really powerful. So there's Wolverine. He's got to protect her, and I really liked their relationship, but also Wolverine's internal struggle in this movie. Finally, they hit this character right, um, because at this point he's it's very far into the future. He's not really a superhero anymore. He's kind of a hiding loner. Doesn't really want to do the good guy stuff anymore, and he's also very tormented by the actions that he took in the previous X-Men movies, especially Jean Grey, his girl, his old girl from the X-Men movies, is in this movie a lot, mainly or only as in memories and in dreams. He's haunted by her literally every night, and it's just I don't know. That was very interesting, and also the concept of the Japan guy, the guy that invited him to Tokyo, which he saved, offered Wolverine mortality, which means he could die. At one point, what are you even living for? So he just kind of had that thing going on, and at one point, Wolverine doesn't lose his powers, but they become extremely suppressed, which is kind of weird. But basically, he can get hurt, and he becomes more vulnerable, and he needs doctors for the first time in his life, and that is just all very unique. I would say, yeah, for the first like half of this movie, it is pretty excellent. Like, there's just not much wrong with it. Like, it's not like the most insane movie ever, but it's got some really funny action sequences. I would say funny, but interesting and entertaining as well. But I'll never forget like the train. They're on top of like these two guys are fighting on a train, and usually when people fight on trains, they're like standing on them and shit like that, and like it's kind of just it's unrealistic in this as well. But in this one, they're on a bullet train and they're going so fast, and just them trying to like just people flying off the train and Wolverine trying to stay on it and like them looking. I don't know. There was a really funny scene there that I enjoyed a lot, and I'll just never forget. And then a lot of the action sequence in general, I wish there was more. They touch on the samurai culture a lot in Japan, and they use the city a lot. That's one of my favorite things about the movie is the setting. But they definitely could have put Wolverine up against some more samurai, like actual fucking samurais, and they just didn't. It's more like generic action sequences, which are entertaining, but I wanted some real fucking samurai in this, and I didn't get it, especially towards the end of the movie when the movie becomes very comic booky. Because early on, it's kind of it's a drama. It's a really good drama with a few action set pieces in there. Um, but and then at the end, they come up with this huge ass robotic samurai, and and then like there's a stupid ass twist. Not stupid, but it was pointless. It was a comic book twist, and it just I don't know. I wished he fought a real life like one-on-one samurai that gave him a hard ass match at the end, and I just didn't get that, and that's my fault for expecting that. So in a sense, I think this movie's a little overhyped because you don't ever get that super cool singular one-on-one fight. I mean, Wolverine does fight this one samurai guy, and he kind of just like the samurai guy basically fucks him up, but Wolverine isn't killable, and he kind of comes back, and that scene is badass. But I want someone who was a match against Wolverine, and there's no match for Wolverine in this movie after he like isn't vulnerable anymore. The only reason he's a match for someone is because he's vulnerable, and that's more about his personal. Like he needs a doctor, he needs to rely on someone else for the first time in a long time. He needs to get over Jean. So a lot of personal struggles, and like I said, I really enjoy them. The end of the movie kind of goes out there a little bit, a little far fetched, and I just didn't like it as much. Um, but I think this is Wolverine almost in his prime. The way he looks is just physically like threatening. makes you feel so bad about your own body. Like he just no homo, but he looks insane in this movie. His physique is crazy. You can tell he put a lot of work into his own body to fit the role of Wolverine over all these years, and it's really paying off at this point in his life. Yeah, but anyway, I would say this movie's a little overhyped because there's not enough samurai stuff, but there also is a lot of samurai talk and culture there. It's just not a lot of like one versus one samurai shit that I wanted, or him just fighting samurais in general. Just wasn't enough samurais. So it's a little overhyped in that aspect, but I think it's a hidden gem in a sense that this is just not a typical comic book movie. It's PG-13, but it really almost gets that rated R. It's really on the edge. Like you see Wolverine cutting in people and blood coming out of him. You don't. I mean, it's not like the worst it could be, but it's there, and like I said, I think it's just underrated. This is a very good movie, and not everyone's gonna talk about it because it's in the X-Men universe, and this universe is weird. And this movie does tie into, like I said, it has Jean in it. The after credit scene is leading into Days of Future Past, and it's very interesting. But so you kind of do need the other X movies a little bit to get everything, especially him and Jean's thing. But personally, like just a Wolverine story about him finding himself. Because in the beginning, that was my whole point. Is in the beginning when he's thinking about becoming mortal again. He's kind of lost who Wolverine is. So it's kind of like an origin story about him finding himself again. Like he's already found himself one time in his origin story, but his time's passed. He's a broken, beat down man, and he has to re-find himself and become the Wolverine. So for that, I mean, I know I talked a lot good about this movie. My final verdict is a 7 out of 10. I think it's a hidden gem, but also, it's not a must-watch, but I think you should watch it. I recommend it. It's on Disney Plus right now. Watch it before they take it down again. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.